Alright guys, here we go. Past the scorer's table for the beginning of lap number 2 at the Cold Stones Hare Scramble. This guy off to the right, shaking out his arms, shaking out the arm pump. He is in my class. He's number 140. I'll get a name check on him in a minute. I'm going to see him an awful lot this lap. Well, as you can see guys, the conditions slightly different than the first lap, but not a lot different. Big diversity in speeds. That guy who just passed both of us is about to take a right here and dump it right there. And every time somebody goes around me, I think about following them. Usually I have no chance of doing it, but every once in a while I think about it and then I see him wipe out and crawl around in the freezing cold water. And I figure I must be going maybe a good speed. I don't know. Whatever I'm doing, it's slow. See some spectators off to the left there, probably wondering which wrist I've broken. Making our way out of the motocross section here through a little transfer, like a highway really. Of course, I don't know, I think I should be going about 15 miles an hour faster here. But a couple times through, I almost lost the front and went flying into the woods. I think that's number 140. That, by the way, is Bob DeRose, if my scoring is correct. He's in my class, and I think that other guy is just riding as a sweep rider. So I'm racing those guys. Well, at least the first one of them. And that guy is... I'm not racing that guy. Now you see, this is Bob here on the left, and Bob looks like a guy I should be able to beat. He keeps pulling over and stopping. That should give me an advantage. The first of many passes coming up in a second here. It's a tough part of Hare Scrambles. I always try to be polite because I'm slow. Now this guy coming up here is wiped out on the side of the trail. I think he's one of the sweep riders. So he's just keeping an eye on the course. He's got no numbers that I can see. He's supposed to be better than all of us. What is going on? I guess it's a little tricky out there. Well, there I am getting buzzed by another of the sweep riders. I would love to have that level of confidence on this trail. I'll keep working at it. I'll get there. I'm going to say that's Bob DeRose racing with me. I think I just took the inside trail to let him around, which I probably shouldn't do since I'm trying to stay ahead of him. And I mean, we're not really racing, I don't think, because as you can see, he pulled a gap on me pretty fast. I don't know, maybe one Hare Scramble this year I will finish ahead of Bob DeRose. That's a goal, a good goal to have. I'm going to write that down. Nice little straight section coming up here. I opened it up a little bit and starting to enjoy myself and think maybe I'm getting better at this. But as you'll see, then I just kind of like spear off the trail for no apparent reason. Guys, I don't know. It's hard to watch, I gotta say. Just a quick camera clear there. You see, then I realized actually it's not that easy to put your hand back on the bar when you have those big mitts on. I thought for a minute I would crash again for a completely stupid reason, but I didn't. I managed to keep it going. So good for me. Skip ahead here to the next Bob DeRose sighting. There he is, talking to some guy on the side of the course, just kind of enjoying himself, casual trail ride. Again, I should be able to beat that guy, right? I mean, I don't think he's even really racing, or at least he's doing it in a different way than I know how to race. this right here is totally devastating. I've got a good run of steam. I've made it up this hill before. Now there's a guy on the line. And I can take the other line, but it's actually really steep here and hard to move your bike. A bit of a bottleneck, and I'm stuck. I'm trying to figure out if this guy is going to move or if I can wait. I'm also totally exhausted, so like lifting my bike over there is not going to be helpful to me. And I'm just losing time. Oh, it's brutal. I wait, and I wait, and I wait. Finally, I get by the guy, as you'll see right here. It's like a total slow race. But I'll be damned if I'm going to let him go first after I had to wait for him for 2 minutes. Screwed up my quote-unquote race. Now, no sooner do I get past that travesty than I start getting the pass call from behind. I let these two guys go by. They're actually pretty nice about it. Closely coming up here, you'll hear a guy revving his engine. That's his pass call. I try to stay right, and of course hook it left and almost take him out. I'm telling you, I'm dangerous out there. Coming back in off of that straightaway, you see this turn right here? The last lap, I just kept going left and plowed off into the snow. You can actually see my track. This lap, I stayed on the trail. I'm doing better, guys. I'm telling you, you're watching it happen. This is progress in progress. I turn back into the woods here, and it doesn't take me too long to get back into my bad habits. A little too much weight on the front, on the bars. Boop! There goes the front. Out she goes. When you have a bobble like that, when I have a bobble like that, it takes me a while to kind of get back into the rhythm. And before I can really do that, I'm getting more pass calls. Got 1, 2, whoa, sorry. 2, 3. Anybody else? Anyone? Got a sale on passes. Crap. Right cap. This patch here was particularly wet, thick snow for me. Totally, you can see I'm just sliding left, and I can't get my balance back. Really tricky for me. fight my way back on the trail and then, you know, overcorrect and go off the other side of the trail. Oh, really maddening. But makes for great video, doesn't it? So we transitioned back into the woods, riding for a while here, cut forward. I'm having, you know, my usual trouble. And then, as I come around a corner up here, who do you think I see? It's going to be Bob DeRose again. And he's like, I think he maybe was having a smoke break or something. He's like off on the side of the trail, just getting back on his bike. And I'm thinking, I got to be able to beat this guy, for sure. What I did not account for in that calculation was doing more stupid things like what's about to happen that would prevent me from beating almost anybody. The trail was nice and muddy here, which I would have loved to take more advantage of, but it was nice to be able to ride somewhat normally, even just for this little section. It just makes me think, I can't wait for springtime. Guys, guess who's back? It's Bob DeRose. He must be done smoking that last cigarette. He's about to whip my ass for another lap. Oh, brother. Thanks. Alright, I made it through the little mud pit. It was actually pretty easy, and now I'm coming up to the obstacle that stopped me on lap number 1. So as you can see, it's actually not that hard. This is the end of lap 2, guys. That's where my GoPro decided to end its race. I kept going for another lap. I finished this one in 9th. I finished the next one in 9th. Yes, there were people behind me. I beat them. There were not many, but I did beat them. From there, guys, we loaded up and headed home. Stay tuned. See you at the next one.